Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. I still have a couple of beers from my last beer box, my beer club, and this is one of them. This is Brulesque. It says a hoppy good time at 6.3% alcohol, and this is from Barley Days Brewing out of Prince Edward County in Ontario. Now, I've said before, with the beer club, I get a newsletter that tells you a little bit about the brewery and the beer. So I've already had one beer from this brewery, so I've already talked about that. So I'll say what they have about the beer. It says Barley Days Brulesque is a traditional West Coast pale ale, generously hopped with Chinook, Azacca, Galena, and El Dorado. It has notes of stone fruit, citrus, and pine, complemented by a malty backbone of Maris Otter. And honestly, I'm not even sure what they mean by Maris Otter. So if anybody knows, by all means, comment. So this is an IPA, and I've said it before, Indian Pale Ale. This is a version, the West Coast version. Indian Pale Ale, basically they started off, the British were in India, and British soldiers, they want beer, but the problem was by the time they sent their regular beers, they were going bad. So they had to come up with an idea to preserve the beers, so they added extra hops to add as preservatives, and IPAs were born. This is a West Coast IPA, and IPAs originally, I wasn't the really hoppy beers, obviously, the extra hops. And originally I wasn't a big fan of IPAs, but I found out over the years I've learned to enjoy them. So we'll see about this one. I'm not even sure if I've ever had a West Coast IPA, so let's find out. I find the hoppiness takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, sometimes you might even crave them. So it's got almost like an amber red tinge to it, which I wasn't really expecting. Let's see if there's anything else here. Like I said, Picton, Ontario, and that's Prince Edward County. It's definitely hoppy because I can smell it already. A little bit of head, nothing substantial, but even the head got a little bit of a red tinge to it. Definitely got a hoppy aroma, but it's not the strongest hoppy aroma I've sniffed from an IPA. But definitely an IPA just from the aroma alone. Big thing is, how does it taste? You can definitely taste the hops, but it's not overwhelming like a lot of IPAs that I've had. And what I like, and I've said it with many different types of beers, I'm not a big fan of a beer that has a lingering aftertaste. And this one, it does have an aftertaste, but it's pretty mild compared to a lot of IPAs that I've had. That's different. It's not quite what I was expecting because it is hoppy. But like I said, it doesn't stay with you, which is what I like. And it's not, the hoppiness is not overwhelming, especially for an IPA. Rating wise, it's always out of 5, with a 1 being a drain pour. I'm literally going to pour it down the drain. Doesn't happen often, but it happens. A 2 is, yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I'll finish it. A 3 is a good beer, a 4 is a very good beer, and a 5 would be the best beer I've ever had. And this one offhand, I'm thinking between the 3 and 3.5 range. However, I still want to take a couple mouthfuls, see exactly where I'm going to land. Something different there. I'm just trying to figure out stone fruit, citrus, and pine. And this is a malty backbone. I'm getting a little bit of the maltiness, but not a lot. But I'm getting something. I don't know if it's a stone fruit, the citrus, or the pine. Like the pine, I'm getting more aroma-wise. It's not the best IPA I've ever had, but then again, it's not the worst IPA. Oh, sorry about that. I keep saying IPA, but apparently it's traditional West Coast Pale Ale. For some reason, I was thinking it was IPA. But with all the hops, they said generously hopped with Chinook, Azacca, Galena, and El Dorado. So I'm not quite sure the difference between a West Coast Pale Ale and a West Coast IPA, other than maybe the hoppiness. And with that being said, as I said, it's not as hoppy as many IPAs I've had, so that's probably why. Then we got to put it on the scale. Offhand, I'm thinking 3, which is a good beer. If you get a chance to pick it up, by all means, I'd recommend it. I don't think I'd ever pick up a dozen and for a party or anything like that, but I definitely enjoy 1 or 2. Take another mouthful and see where I land. honestly, I think I'm going to stick with my 3.0. It's not a bad beer. I'm enjoying it, but it's nothing. It's not one of those beers that'll be like, oh my god, I can't wait to try it again. But there's nothing wrong with it. So here you go, folks, for the Barley Days Brewery Brulesque out of Picton, Ontario, 3.0. I have one more beer left in the beer box. I believe that's a stout. But I also have a new beer box coming, hopefully within the next day or two. So my next beer will probably be one out of the new box. With that being said, as of Saturday, I'm gone for a week to the Caribbean. So hopefully I'll do a beer on a beach somewhere. I'm going to Dominican Republic, and their major beer is Presidente. And I've already done a review for that one, so I'm hoping I can find another local beer while I'm down there. And we'll go from there. So you go, folks. Until next beer, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.